So President-elect Trump hosted a group of Republican governors at Mar-a-Lago last night. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was there, and he joins us now. Governor, thanks so much for joining the program.
Good morning.
So, Governor, everyone has been saying, if Ron DeSantis were in California and there was a disaster like this, there would be great criticism. But we know that you would handle this differently. You had this interesting exchange with a reporter yesterday. Let's watch it.
Is it appropriate for the president-elect or a president to be criticizing?
Is it appropriate for people in your industry to try to create division and to try to create narratives anytime these things happen? Now, you're not as interested in doing that because Newsom is a D. If Newsom was a Republican, you guys would go you would have him nailed to the wall for what they're doing over there.
So why aren't they criticizing him or the mayor?
Well, here's my point is just simply, they were trying to pin this on Donald Trump and they were going after Donald Trump's comments. And I'm just thinking to myself, I've seen how these people in the press react to when these things happen in the state of Florida. All they try to do is define things that they can create negative narratives about. I remember when we had Hurricane Ian, Category 5 monster storm hit Southwest Florida. All they were looking for were things to do negative. And the reality was the state was prepared. We had an overwhelming response. We were doing things like rebuilding bridges in 3 days. We were able to bring the power back on and millions of people in record time. And so once it was clear that people were satisfied with the response after a few days, you couldn't find CNN in the state of Florida if you had a search warrant. I mean, they were just gone. They had no interest in covering the story at that point. And so it's different how they approach these things when it's one of their guys on their team, both in terms of the mayor and the governor. And so I'm fine to say black when they're attacking Donald Trump, when they're the ones that are always the lead in these instances.
So, Governor, I've made the request. I think Republican governors need to go out there and show them how it's done because the people are crying out for help and they're American citizens. And that's what we do. We pitch in. What are you doing right now to help them out?
Well, we immediately offered assistance, and so the Florida Division of Emergency Management is in contact with California's Emergency Management Agency, and as there's requests that come down the pike, we will fulfill those requests. And this is not something that's unusual amongst the states. We've provided support to California in the past when they've had wildfires. We've had states support us. I mean, when we had Hurricane Helene and Milton, we had a lot of people that sent assets down. Now, fortunately, with Helene, we were able to send those back very quickly, and then we ended up sending our assets to Western North Carolina a day or two after the hurricane. So states do have a very good track record in this country of working together, and it's not just Republican governors. I mean, Democrat governors have helped Florida. We've helped Democrat governors, and I think this is something. Those are Americans' homes who've gone in blaze. They're from different political persuasions, but we have a responsibility as Americans to come together.
Governor, I'm up against a hard break, but I got to ask you, you're going to have a seat that you got to fill. Have you made a decision of who you're going to fill that seat, Marco Rubio's seat, with?
No, I haven't, but it will come soon, and it's going to be somebody that's going to help President Trump deliver on the mandate he earned from the American people. It's going to be somebody that's going to be strong on immigration, and it's going to be somebody that represents the conservative principles that have made this country great.
Ron DeSantis, Governor, thank you so much. We appreciate it. More Fox.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Enough people to believe it might be in the case of inflict political damage on governor who is one of the nation's most high-profile Democrats and a possible 2028 presidential hopeful. California is also a perfect target as a liberal state that went for Vice President Kamala Harris in last year's election. The conscience of a state and city inflicting self-defeating environmental policies is a perfect fit for Trump's narrative that liberal governance in blue states and cities invites chaos, crime, and misery. This is not government. I cannot wait till until 2020. Trump wrote on social. There will be legitimate question about California and Los Angeles level of propaganda for the fire. Newsom and city officials will be called to account for any failure like many politicians tested in croquet for national disaster. But in such dire situation, blame usually awaits the ebbing of crisis. News and told CNN Anderson Chopper that one cannot be even respond to Trump attack. People are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families lost completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts about what I want to say, and I want my governor added. In specific case, Trump complains about the freshwater issuing being to blame for difficulties in responsibilities. Responding appear to be the best very simplification of complex factor at play. But after a meeting with Republican Senator on Tuesday, the president-elect Trump